Hi, my name is Shivali. I'm a freshman in high school and I'm the founder and president of Treble Youth Music Group.
Hi, my name is Numa and I'm a freshman at Cal High and I'm a group member of Treble Youth Music Group.
Hi, my name is Kisha Aurora. I'm a freshman at Cal High as well, and I'm also a member of the Treble Youth Music Group.
We're super excited to interview our guest speaker, Miss Willis, the choir teacher at California High School. Before we get started, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Treble Youth Music Group. The Treble Youth Music Group is all about spreading joy in the community through music, while giving opportunities to the youth to showcase their talents. Additionally, the Treble Youth Music Group would like to bring awareness to different music programs by interviewing various musical professionals from public and private institutions. If our interviews can convince even one person to join their school's music programs, it will make a huge difference. Because the funding of public school music programs depend on student enrollment numbers, we hope to provide informational content to youth interested in music. So let's get started. It would be great if you could briefly introduce yourself, Ms. Willis, and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'd like to start by thanking you for having me here today. I'm Lori Willis, and I am the teacher at Cal High for choir. We have 3 choirs. Also, I teach jazz band and I teach AP music theory.
That's great. So now we would like to know more about the music program offered at Cal High. I remember during course selections in 8th grade, I wasn't sure whether I should continue taking band or to explore different electives, such as the choir program, as I was passionate about both. So why would you suggest an incoming 9th grader to take choir at school? How can they tell if choir is for them?
Yes. Well, I think that choir is just, for me, being able to sing and use your voice, it's just a great form of self-expression. And I think that it builds confidence, self-esteem, and a lot of people, they don't realize that once they kind of unleash their voice, how much it can, how fulfilling that can actually be. So I feel that there's other musical programs that you can be involved with, but it's just really a gift to be able to sing. And I think the students in choir, they're always, they're fun, they're really, they're all trying and learning together, and it's just a great opportunity. I think the opportunities for other things, the festivals we do, camps, that kinds of thing, I think it's really beneficial for students.
Yeah, I agree. Choir sounds really fun. And what different choir groups are there?
Well, we have treble choir. So for like alto, soprano voices. We also have concert choir, which is our introductory group. But we also have some seniors who sing in concert choir. They like it there and they're happy there. And then we have our chamber singers, and that tends to be the most advanced group. And that's usually open for a sophomore through senior grades. And so there are auditions for our treble choir and for chamber singers. But concert choir, anybody can come and join a concert choir. And that's another good thing about choir, is that you don't have to have a background in a particular instrument or in voice or anything. You can just start when you're willing and when you're interested. And we take people as they come to us and help them to find their voice and make a contribution to the group.
Wow, that's great. So you don't need experience to join concert choir. That's great. And when do auditions for treble and chamber choir happen? How do auditions work?
The auditions happen in April. this year. And I usually send out a notice throughout the school to remind people to look. We will have our website. We'll have a page for auditions, and that will have all of the information. So people can follow up in the month of April with the website, and they can find out about the auditions, everything that's going to be required, the repertoire that we'll be using, any other requirements, and they'll be able to see it there.
That's great. Okay. What does, yeah?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say the other thing about auditions, of course, they are submitting videotapes.
Right, because of
Right.
Yeah.
And even when we didn't have COVID and the distance learning issues, we still had people submit videos for their auditions.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Well, actually, some people would do it live, and I guess some people can do video. So depending on if it's convenient to come in live.
That's great. That's great that you're flexible with that. What does a typical year in choir look like?
Well, are you talking pre-pandemic?
I think you can touch on both, but I think mainly pre-pandemic.
Yeah. So yeah, before the pandemic, that would be coming into choir. We'd have camp, choir camp. We'd also have, we'd probably have about 4 live concerts in the school year. And then for advanced groups like chamber singers, it would be more, you know, because they're doing appearances at different places and participating in district festivals and things like that. So it might be more, especially during the time of the winter or holiday season, where they can do things like caroling and things like that. So then we have festivals. Every group is involved in festivals. So whether it's something that's through the district or something that is you know, just some other recognized local festival, we all participate in that. And that's another opportunity for growth and development. Every time our group it goes to the festival, they're judged against other groups, and they can get really good positive feedback that helps them to become stronger and even better. And it's great in terms of the whole teamwork concept.
That sounds like a fun year in choir.
Yeah, it's busy. It's busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now Numa has a few questions. Can you answer them, Miss Willis?
Sure.
I'd just like to say thank you, Ms. Willis, for giving me the opportunity to ask you these questions. So my first question is, how does the choir grading system work?
Well, choir, for the most part, the biggest part of the grade is performance. And even though we haven't been able to do our live performances during the pandemic, we've been able to do the virtual performance and creating our videos and for the online performance. So we've kept that same grading system of performance being the bulk of the grade. Then from there on out, it's you know, effort, how much people are in there working and trying and that they're growing. So basically, I don't compare one student against the other student. It's where are you? Where did you start? And are you trying and are you learning and growing based on where you started? And that's usually everybody. I think that especially when we're in the live classroom, I'm able to really uh, pull from the students. I want everybody to put their best foot forward. And so I, I try to inspire the students in every way to really use their voice and try to capture your audience. And it's a very special thing to be able to do that. The audience wants to feel something. So yeah, the students, they basically are taken as they've come to me, and as long as they've progressed. It's really, we have one other component. We do some quizzes, you know, the vocal quizzes, and then also on the music theory, but that's a smaller portion of the grade just to make sure that people are learning what they need to learn. And then I want to keep that side of things still enjoyable. So it's not like, oh my goodness, we've got a quiz, or I need to learn the theory, or I've got to be able to do my sight singing. That's supposed to also be fun. That's supposed to also be a fun thing. So I try, even though we are working on those things regularly, it's a smaller part of the grade. And I try to keep it so that it's less of the feeling of rigor and more the feeling of, boy, this is interesting and this is fun and I'm learning something about music. Yeah, I understand what that is that I was looking at when I was reviewing my sheet music the other day. I understand how things are, you know, falling together, falling into place. So that's what it's mainly about.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So my next question is, some people believe that academic electives are a better option than musical ones. What are the benefits of a musical elective?
I would say that music in general, for me, it's just, and for many people, I think it's just food for the soul. And I think that it is very important that students are able at all times to maintain a balance of, you know, from the real academic rigor to have the things in their schedule, actually incorporated into their schedule, so that even though it's not like we're just not doing anything, we are really working, we're doing a lot of stuff, but we do it in such a way you're having a good time, you're having fun. So it turns out to be a break from some of the other academic rigor. And I think it's really necessary that students are able to have something like that to lean on, because otherwise you become kind of out of balance. And that can cause all kinds of problems. Students can become too stressed out, unhappy. They lose some of the meaning behind, you know, what things are really about. It's about having balance. Yes, we work hard. We have lots of things that we have to do that are may not always be about having fun, but here's something that we can do that kind of feeds our spirit, feeds our soul, and helps to give us the energy that we need to be able to do other things.
Great. So my final question is, how have you seen choir benefiting students beyond high school?
Well, I would say that, you know, there's a great many students that are not going to be, they're not necessarily going into the field of music for their careers, right? Some are, and they come here and they get really encouraged about being involved in music. They learn lots of good things that helps to keep their interests sparked. But at the same time, you know, there's others that aren't going to go into the profession of music, but what they've learned, there's lifelong skills that that you have gained there's a lot of discipline involved in music. And in performing and being able to pull off a really dynamic performance, there's practice. And these things, the time that musicians have to put into practicing and really being willing to work on something until you get it to the level that you're ready to present it to your audience. There's a lot of discipline involved in that, and a lot of people take that for granted. I think that the skills that you gain in being involved in music are transferable to many other areas of life. And then just having been exposed to it and loving it the way most of us love it when we're able to participate in it, it can be something that you fall back on even as you go into college and other professions. There's students that will still sing in choirs at universities where they go to school, or they become doctors, lawyers, or what have you for their profession. And there's local groups that they continue to sing in, or church choirs, or and that really is a special time and special point in their week that they're able to do that. And again, we're talking about balance. Okay. So yeah, I think it's people can find many ways to continue to incorporate the music into their lives.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
You are welcome.
Yeah, I have to say that I agree. Balance is really important. So now our group member Kisha will take over the next section called True or False. It's kind of self-explanatory, but Kisha, can you explain this section?
Yeah, okay, so hi. So in this section, I will be saying statements and you can decide whether if they're true or false.
Okay.
So the first statement is, if someone doesn't take choir in middle school, then they can't take it in high school. Is this true or false?
That is false.
False. Okay. That's great to know. The next one I have is, I won't have time to balance and do choir with school along with extra curriculum activities. Is this true or false?
That's false.
False. Okay. So yeah, balance is super important.
Yes, and if you want, I can go a little step further on the last question. You said that statement, I won't have time to balance with extracurriculars and sports. We have a lot of students that are involved in many things, clubs, outside of school activities, and also sport activities. And since I've come to Cal High, we really make sure that we are flexible. So if there's an opportunity, for a student to do one or the other, then that's great. If they can't be at my event, then I usually am able to give them some other optional kind of assignment to do to make up for missing a performance, that kind of thing. So I expect those kinds of situations because many students are involved in sports and other events.
Yeah, that's great that there's many variations to it.
And flexibility.
Yeah, thank you, Kisha, and thank you, Miss Willis. I would like to add that all three of us are currently in the Cal High Choir right now, and it's just been such a fun experience, even though it's online. So I'd like to share my experience of my first year of choir. So although it's hard to do a performance-based class in an online setting, Miss Willis has done a great job making the class really educational, interactive, productive, and fun. We work on many different songs in treble choir, and it's always fun to go into breakout rooms to practice singing and to talk to friends. And it's actually because of choir that I made some amazing friendships. Also, after all the hard work, it's so rewarding and exciting to see our online performance videos with all our voices combined into this one melodious video. We also work on technical music such as sight singing and music theory, as well as various vocal warm ups. And I just have to say that I can't wait for in person choir. I'm sure it will be a fantastic experience as well. And I'd like to add on to what Miss Willis said before. Even though it is important to take classes like math, science, English, and those rigorous classes, I feel like it's also important to take classes that you enjoy, that you look forward to, and are essentially like stress relievers. For me, that class has been choir, so that's my experience. How was your first year of choir, Numa?
So overall, my experience in choir has been amazing. I've always wanted to do choir since I watched my sister do it and progress her overall skills in singing when she was in high school. And although this year has been difficult for the whole of humanity, we have been able to overcome the challenges and adapt to them, as we have had to do with choir as well. And I believe everyone who is in choir will take away some important lessons from this experience, even though it wasn't the same as it would be in person. Hearing the magic of everyone's voices coming together is so different from only hearing a mere part of what some of our classmates have to offer. But learning online has its benefits. We get to learn how to take adequate recordings and how to make our videos look sufficient enough to be included into our group videos, which all come out so amazing. I look forward to being in choir physically, but we don't know what the future holds. So either way, I know that choir will benefit my musical journey in a plethora of ways.
Wow, that's great. How was your experience, Kisha?
So my experience so far has been great and really fun. Even though choir this year is online, I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. And I feel like choir has taught me to sing in many different genres that I haven't really sung before in the past. One of my favorite parts about choir is our performance videos because we get to record videos and watching the end result is always super worth it, and I can't wait to do in-person choir in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, moving on, I'd like to ask our last question for today. Um, what would you be doing if you wouldn't be doing your music career?
Well, I'll just say this. If I if music was not playing a significant role in my life, I I would really be missing something. I would not be happy. I would not be happy. It's just it's what gives me energy. It's what gives me reminds me of all the good and the positive that there is. And even when there are problems, we can always uplift one another through song. And in the case of like choir, that's the one singing and using your voice, the one instrument that you can actually combine music and words. There's no other instrument that you can do that. And so just to be able to express yourself in that way, I would be missing a lot if I was not if music was not playing a significant role. I'm really glad that I ended up teaching where I could share this gift of music making with young people, really help them so that they can establish a foundation with music and have that to build on and to grow on for the rest of their lives. But yeah, I'm just really happy that I'm able to teach so that I can do that. And I really hope that my students will continue with their music no matter where they are, because it's so important.
Yeah, I think we all learned a lot from today. We learned about the importance of balance how we must balance academics as well as things we enjoy, such as choir. And I would just like to say thank you so much for taking out the time to answer our questions. It was really great hearing from you.
Well, I would like to say thank you to all three of you for having me here today to talk about choir and about music and just how important it is. I just hearing your stories and how being involved in choir this year has made a difference for you, and that it was very enjoyable for you. It really, I can't tell you how much it means to me to hear that. And I mean, no matter how hard things get, being able to share the music with you students and to help you and to see you benefit from it and feel good about it, it drives me. Actually, it's what really drives me and keeps me going. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd like to add just one more thing. The environment in choir is so welcoming and warm. I remember like the first time I heard like the Cal High Choir sing in I think it was the course selection night. It was so memorable. Like ever since I was like, I know I need to join choir. This is so amazing. And yeah, all the people, they were so welcoming, and it's just a whole in like unique environment. So yeah, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Okay.
I'm lucky to have you as students.